My name is Lisa Feldstein. I'm a health and fertility lawyer in Ontario, Canada, and in this video, I want to answer the question, do surrogates in Canada get paid? And the very quick and easy answer is that no, actually in Canada, surrogates do not get paid. This is different all over the world in different states and different countries. The rules and laws are different. But in Canada, it is absolutely against the law to pay a surrogate. And yet, you sometimes might hear about surrogates getting money or getting something for being a surrogate. And so I want to explain why is that? Where does that come from? When the law does clearly say compensation is prohibited. So the reason there is this fuzziness and there can be a lot of confusion is because surrogates can be reimbursed. They are not expected to subsidize being pregnant. They do not have to be out of pocket and spend their own money or miss work and not get paid back. So they can be reimbursed. And this is where the gray zone becomes the reality, is because we have this question of, well, what is a reasonable reimbursement? And for a long time, we really had no idea. The law referred to reimbursements in the regulations, and there were no regulations. The law passed in 2004, and it wasn't until 2020 that there were actual regulations that had a list saying these are the things that a surrogate can be reimbursed for. So that was very, very helpful. And also helpful was Health Canada created a guidance document to go along with it and said, here's more information about what surrogates can be reimbursed. So that's great. It means things like maternity clothing or life insurance we don't have to worry about. And frankly, we didn't really worry so much about those before anyway. It seemed so obvious those were reasonable. But there can certainly be some things that are fuzzy. The one that I find the hardest is food. And the government in the recent changes recognized that some reimbursement of food can be okay. But I struggle with this because it's really, really difficult to practically say what food a surrogate is eating because of the pregnancy versus what she would otherwise be eating. She is not going to sequester a section in her fridge separate from her other family members and say, you know, this is mommy's apple, don't touch that. Or this apple is because I'm pregnant, but this banana is what I would have eaten anyways. It's completely absurd. There isn't a practical way. So we do our best. The government didn't provide any dollar amount to go along with this one. So food is certainly the one that I find very difficult. Most other categories, it's easy enough to ask the question, is she incurring this cost because she's being a surrogate? And if she already was incurring the cost, probably not a reasonable reimbursement. So if she's already paying for certain things like her cell phone, and she's been paying that every month for years, and she's not going over using data because she's communicating with intended parents, her bill stays the same. I mean, lawyers will have different opinions, but many of us use that rule of if she's already been paying for that prior to the pregnancy, it may not be a legitimate reimbursement. But she certainly isn't expected to spend her own money or subsidize the pregnancy. And then how the reimbursements work is they're up to the individuals who are entering into surrogacy agreements. Some will use surrogacy agencies, and they can facilitate taking the money, looking at the receipts, and reimbursing for what's reasonable. Some people will not have agencies and will do it themselves. That is perfectly legal. And in those cases, the terms will be discussed. Sometimes people will want them captured in the contract, sometimes not. So that might be intended parents will pay a surrogate back every month, or surrogates must give her receipts by a certain day. The reimbursements might happen by e-transfer versus other means. Regardless of who's paying back or what method or how often, one thing that is true across all of them is that as of June 2020, it is necessary to have extra paperwork. So a receipt used to be enough. The law said a receipt was fine. Now there's actually a declaration surrogates have to fill out that go along with these reimbursements to further articulate that, yes, this was for the purpose of the surrogacy, and this is what it was for, and the date and all that detail. So that's something that gets included in part of surrogacy agreements. And surrogacy agreements are getting very, very long because there's all these schedules. But the value of the schedule is a template that the parties can use for themselves to fill in and put all the reimbursements there. So that might be way more information than you needed to know, but if you are pursuing surrogacy or thinking about surrogacy, then it's definitely relevant for you. So can you pay a surrogate? No, you can't, but there's a lot of micro decisions that can be made when it comes to reimbursing a surrogate and finding a balance that everybody is comfortable with, and that is also completely lawful in Canada. So I hope you learned something new, and I'll see you in the next video.